Hello everyone, welcome back to Jikook Moments. Have you ever felt like a concert isn't just about the music, but about something much quieter, more subtle, and somehow even more meaningful? The final concert in Tampa left exactly that kind of impression. Amid the roaring cheers and dazzling stage lights, there were small moments that seemed to speak louder than anything else. Brief glances, almost unnoticed touches, and the way Jimin and Jungkook kept finding each other, as if there was a story unfolding behind everything we could see. And what's interesting is, was it all really just coincidence? Or is there something that has always been there, simply waiting to be noticed? In this video, we're going to take a closer look at those moments, from their interactions on stage, the sincerity of their support, to the fandom dynamics that once again sparked debate. Because sometimes, a single small moment can reveal more than 1,000 words. The final concert in Tampa felt like a closing chapter that not only summed up a long journey but also left behind an emotional imprint that's hard to forget. That night wasn't just about music, grand stages, or echoing cheers. It was about the small moments that felt the most alive. As we've often seen, Jikook once again delivered interactions that were not only beautiful but deeply meaningful, subtle teasing, quiet boldness, and an intimacy that didn't need to be overly explained. Amid the chaos of the concert, many found their attention drawn to how Jimin and Jungkook kept finding each other. They talked casually, touched each other gently, exchanged smiles that seemed understood only by them, and naturally moved within the same orbit. For some, this might look like ordinary interaction. But for those who look a little deeper, there's a consistency, a sense of comfort that feels genuine. And if there's still doubt, that's okay. Because as often said, one captured moment can say more than 1,000 explanations. And that night, those moments spoke very clearly. Not long before that, Jimin also caught attention again through his latest Instagram post. In the video, he performed a dance blending swing and contemporary styles, a combination that isn't easy, yet he executed it with remarkable fluidity. His movements didn't just show technique, but emotion. There was control, expression, and an artistic sensitivity that made every detail feel alive. Once again, his performance proved that his ability is not just the result of practice, but a reflection of a deep understanding of the art itself. What made this moment even more interesting was Jungkook's reaction. He didn't just watch. He reshared the video and left a short comment that felt incredibly sincere, simple admiration, yet honest. "He's really amazing." A phrase that might seem ordinary, but carries more meaning when it comes from someone who understands the process behind the scenes. In that small gesture, Jungkook once again showed that he's not just a groupmate, but also an admirer who appreciates Jimin's achievements. The support felt natural, unforced, and that's exactly what made it so meaningful. Back to the concert atmosphere, an account also surfaced sharing various photos of Jimin and Jungkook, both together and individually. The content felt different, not only because of its high visual quality, but also because of its timing and perspective, capturing moments that are rarely seen. Many fans felt that these posts offered a closer experience, as if they were part of it. There was a strong sense of appreciation for the contribution, because not everyone can present documentation that's special. However, as often happens in large fandoms, positive responses didn't come alone. Old accusations resurfaced, labeling the account as assassin. This narrative isn't new, but it remains exhausting because it keeps repeating in the same pattern. The issue isn't just the accusation itself, but how it is often made without strong evidence. Many who criticize tend to bring personal preferences into it, turning what should be objective discussion into biased opinion. The situation intensified when it was revealed that the account owner attended several concerts where Jimin and Jungkook performed together. For some, this seemed suspicious. But from a broader perspective, this phenomenon is actually quite common. In large fandoms, many fans are willing to invest time, energy, and money to attend more than one concert. They save up, plan trips, and even follow tours across cities or countries. It's not something unusual. It's a form of dedication. Looking deeper, there are several important points often overlooked in this debate. The account is not a new one that suddenly appeared with suspicious intensity. It has existed for a long time and consistently shown support for Jimin and Jungkook. The content also focuses on appreciation, not something invasive or violating privacy. This is a fundamental distinction that should be a key consideration. What's most crucial, however, is how Jimin and Jungkook themselves respond. They are not unaware of their surroundings. On the contrary, they are very perceptive when it comes to interactions with fans. On several occasions, it's clear that they recognize the person behind the account. And more importantly, their responses have always been positive. Smiles, relaxed interactions, and even willingness to pose show no signs of discomfort. One of the most notable moments happened during a concert in Korea. Jungkook recognized the fan and casually asked whether they wanted a solo photo or one together with Jimin. The way he asked, light, relaxed, and accompanied by a smile, made the interaction feel natural. There was no distance, no tension. Even when Jimin was a bit farther away, Jungkook still responded warmly, as if he understood the context of the support being given. Jimin showed something similar. During a video call in his album promotion period, he openly acknowledged that he recognized the fan and was aware of their long-standing support. Statements like this are not made lightly. There is awareness, acknowledgement, and trust within them. Some argue that artists might not realize if someone is assasing. However, this argument doesn't fully align with reality. Jungkook, for instance, has shown clear attitudes towards sasaengs. He is able to recognize them and chooses not to engage. In certain situations, he even firmly avoids them. This contrast in behavior is very clear and hard to ignore. In comparison, his interactions with the questioned account show the opposite: openness, comfort, and even warmth. This isn't just assumption. It's something visible through many documented moments. Interestingly, this account continues to be targeted by repeated accusations, while others with more questionable behavior receive less attention. This raises a question: is this really about behavior, or are there other factors at play? Many have begun to see that the root of the issue may not lie in actions, but in perspective. Because the account openly supports Jimin and Jungkook as a pair, it becomes a target for certain groups who don't share that view. From there, what should be a simple issue turns into internal fandom conflict. In the end, this situation reflects a larger dynamic. The term sasaeng should be used carefully, as it carries serious consequences. Using it without clear basis not only harms the accused individual, but also blurs the true meaning of the term itself. Amid all of this, what matters most is returning to the essence, respecting boundaries, honoring the artists, and keeping the fandom space healthy. Because ultimately, what makes moments like those in Tampa so valuable isn't the debate, it's the connection. The connection between artist and fans, and among fans themselves. At the end of the day, everyone is free to see and interpret these moments in their own way. But one thing is undeniable: there is a connection that feels real, whether on stage or beyond the camera's view. Regardless of all the debate, perhaps what matters most is how we continue to respect boundaries, honor them as artists, and maintain a healthy fandom environment. Because in the end, moments like Tampa are not just about what happened, but about what we felt while witnessing them. So, which moment stood out the most to you? Let me know in the comments. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video with your friends. See you in the next video.